everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. Welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. Got my camera a little high. Let me fix it. So tonight will be our final big Thanksgiving dish. So tonight we are going to change the way you think about your sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving. I love sweet potato souffle, the way that my mama fixes it. We don't do marshmallows, we do the pecan and brown sugar and butter on the top, and it's absolutely wonderful. But just like dressing, I can never make it as good as mama. So what I have found, I was inspired by a tasty video for some sweet potato bites, but I did them a little different. I've been testing this recipe. I've done it like 3 different ways over the last few weeks, and I finally came up with a variation that I'm pretty happy with. So I felt confident to share it with you all tonight. I won't be doing a recipe card for this because this is actually going to be my blog post this week. So if you want the recipe for it, you'll have to get that later in the week from the website. So we've got a lot of really fun things coming up. I've got a lot of great ideas for you for the holidays, for Christmas coming up. Next week, we're going to be just coming on live and talking with you on how to do pecans 2 different ways. And you'll see one of them tonight, but I won't make them. I've already got them made ahead. So next Monday night, we'll probably come on for 5 or 10 minutes because I'll have to get started cooking for Thanksgiving next week and just show you how to do holiday pecans a couple of different ways. So I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. I have taken 4 small to medium sweet potatoes and I've peeled them, and I have cut them into probably 1/2 inch little disc. So at this point, I'll probably turn my camera down so that I can show you everything that I have here. This is a really simple recipe, and it really is really good. And the problem with sweet potato souffle for me is that I either have too much butter or not enough butter, and it's runny or it's too thick, and it's not, I just can't get my ratios right. And I think the problem is it's just not as good as my mama's. So therefore, I don't really put a lot into it, because if she can make it, then I'd rather her make it anyway, because hers is always better than mine. They say, you know, any kind of food is always better when somebody else fixes it, but any kind of food is 10 times better when your mama fixes it. So if you still have your mother around and she's a good cook, be sure that not just on Thanksgiving, but any other time, you tell her how much her meals mean to you, because those things matter to our mamas. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera, and I'm doing half the recipe tonight because I've already cooked half of it, so I didn't want to waste a lot. So what I've got here is just about 2 of those potatoes that are peeled and cut into discs. So again, we are making candied sweet potato bites. And the candied comes in from the pecan, and you'll get that recipe next week. And we just had a dog mishap. You probably heard that in the background. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Yeah, everybody's fine. So I'm going to turn my camera. All right. Tanner, how does it look?
Hang on. And we look good.
Okay. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go over the candied sweet potato bites. And for those of you just joining us, we have about half of a recipe that calls for about 4 small to medium sweet potatoes peeled and cut into about 1/2 inch disc. Then what I have here, and I'm going to give you the full recipe as I go, but just know it's not all of it. So now I have about 2 tablespoons of butter and about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And I'm just going to pop my butter in the microwave really quickly because I want it to melt. So y'all just bear with me. Because I try to do as much live as I can. And the butter is not as good if you don't melt it right away. So this combination is actually going to be your glaze. All right, I think it's melted enough. Yep. All right, so I have melted my butter and I have about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And then I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons is what the recipe calls for of maple syrup. So I'll just be putting in 1 since I'm only doing half. All right. Now, these are sticky. They're sticky and they're good, but one rule of thumb that I can give you is that when they come out of the oven, you want to move them to your platter that you're going to serve them on as quickly as you can. So while this is a recipe that has virtually no prep work, you can do this the day of. I know one of the things I like to do with a lot of my Thanksgiving dishes is actually make them ahead of time and have them where we can just reheat them Thanksgiving Day. But this is one that you'll want to do, at the same day. So you simply just place your disc on a sheet pan that has been lined with parchment paper or wax paper. And that keeps you from having to clean up a lot. So at this point, you're just going to take your glaze and you're going to just dot a little on the tops. And like I said, this is sticky. So when this brown sugar cooks down with the butter and the maple syrup, it's actually going to form like a candied or a tight glaze on these sweet potatoes. So now I'm just going to flip them over. And I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And these cook up rather fast, especially at that high heat. And we're just going to glaze the other side. And you don't have to put a lot on them at this point because we're going to bake them for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to flip them and we're going to baste them again on the cooked side down. So this is like a sweet roasted potato. So there you have it. I know that doesn't look like much, but they're going to be really good. And this all happens so fast that I already have some made up that I'm going to take out of the oven. But you're going to pop these in your 400 degree oven and you're going to bake them for 10 minutes. Then you're going to take them out and get your tongs and flip them over. And then you're going to baste them one more time and then put them back in the 400 degree oven for 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes is up, I would take them out, put them on the serving platter, and then you can finish them right before you serve them. And I'm about to show you what that looks like right now. So these go in the 400 degree oven. And then I have some already made. Is my lighting good, Tanner?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see everything? Okay. There you go. So you'll see they're good and they're squishy and they're soft. So they're perfect. So at this point, you can do one of two things. You can be a better cook than me and you can make your own whipped cream, or you can be as smart as I am and you can buy a can of already whipped cream. But the cream is a must. And the reason why is the cream adds a different type of sweet to the sweet that's already on the potatoes. It's not as decadent, it's sweet, but it kind of cuts the sweetness of the potatoes. So what you'll do is you'll just put a little dollop on each one. And this just feels like cheating, but I don't know why you would do it any other way, because nobody's gonna know the difference. And then this is the secret. A little bit of salt just a tad. Just a tad. And everybody knows I like to use sea salt because it's just better. And then I have just a little rasp and some cinnamon. And I like to just fleck the cream with the cinnamon. And the final finishing wonderful touch to these are these beautiful candied pecan halves. And I'm going to be showing you how to make these next Monday night because they are simple, they are divine, and I had to hide these from my family and they still got found. So you just want to take them and just dot your sweet potatoes, and I won't dot them all because we've already had supper and nobody's gonna eat them. But y'all look how pretty that is. And it's just like almost a little handheld. You can just pick it up and eat it. And I'm gonna move it over here because Tanner's wanting it. And it's so good. It's got the maple syrup, you have the sweet potatoes, and you have the sultriness of the cream, and then you have the added crunch and sweetness of that candied pecan. I challenge you that you can find anything better than this for sweet potatoes for your new Thanksgiving side. So this takes this to a whole nother level. And actually, Tanner is...
That's it.
She said that's it. But so this is a really simple thing that can make you look really smart and really, really savvy on Thanksgiving Day. And not only that, if you're like me and you cannot get your ratios right on your sweet potato souffle or your sweet potato casserole, this is a no-brainer because you peel, slice, and cook, and that's about it. You know, most people have brown sugar. Most people have maple syrup. The only thing that I could think you might have to go out and buy would be the pecans or the whipped cream. And those are stuff that you'll probably have on hand for Thanksgiving anyway. So that is our new and fantastic way to have your sweet potatoes on Thanksgiving that will change your life, because you can have these little nifty little sweet potato candy bites in less than 30 minutes. And really they're better to me. But I'm gonna wash my hands and then I'll move the camera. Okay, let me just get everything situated. And you have to see, I have to put my specs on to see what I'm doing. So once again, we hope that we have shown you a new and different way to look at a traditional side that will take it to another level, and somebody's disappearing with another one. So I might have to dress the rest of them anyway because it looks like they're gonna get eaten after all. But these sweet potatoes, they're a great addition to any Thanksgiving, and they're also good to have for Christmas too. You know, I think I've mentioned to y'all that we actually do like hors d'oeuvres or finger foods on Christmas with our family, and it's more like potluck. Everybody just kind of brings something. So for us, that means a lot less work in the kitchen and more time with family. So while you can spend a whole lot of time making all these wonderful dishes that your family will remember from now on, that will forge relationships with your children and your grandchildren, you know, I encourage you to do that. But don't miss out on what the holidays really mean, and that is time well spent with the people that you love. So don't be in the kitchen the whole time preparing that food as a sacrifice to the time that you have to spend with one another. Also wanted to mention, if you're local and you are a participant with Operation Christmas Child, which is a wonderful ministry cause near and dear to my heart. Our church has been heavily involved with OCC for years now. It is National Collection Week. So I ask that if you've prepared a box or are thinking about preparing a box, that you do that this week and get them turned in to a local drop-off center. Our church, St. Pete Memorial Baptist in Raymer, is actually a collection center. We had our packing party tonight and I missed it. And I hate I missed it, but I'll be there later in the week to kind of help out with that. And I challenge you, there's still time to pack a box because every box is a ministry opportunity. You know, my oldest child has had the wonderful opportunity to go on a mission trip to Panama, and I'm not sure if she and the group she was with did more for those people or if those people did more for her. And I'm fortunate enough to have friends who have also been on mission trips, and it changes the way you see the world. There are lots of mission opportunities right here at home as well, but the Bible is very clear that we are to go and make disciples of other nations, and that is something that Jesus instructed us to do. And not everybody can go. You know, not everybody has the means. Not everybody likes to fly. So one of the things that Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child does is that is a mission opportunity in a box. And the great thing is that the postage for it is cheap, and if you don't have the postage to pay for it, it doesn't matter. Turn the box in anyway. Somebody, God will provide that box gets in the hands of a child, and that child will then minister from that box to his family and his friends and to his whole village. We've seen it happen time and time again. So if you're not affiliated with Operation Christmas Child, I encourage you to look into it. This is National Collection Week. If you need a place to drop off a box here locally, call me, send me a message. If you can't get the boxes, I'll come and get them for you so that we can get those in the hands of the children who need that ministry opportunity. So we thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you'll make these Candied Sweet Potato Bites, and if you do, that you'll take a picture and that you will hashtag Messy Kitchen Monday, hashtag MKM, or hashtag The Buttered Home. Also be sure to visit our website at www.thebutteredhome.com. If you haven't signed up for our email, I encourage you to do so, because probably here in the near future, our email VIPs are going to have a very, very big opportunity that nobody else will have. And so that's another exciting thing coming up. I will not tell you what it is. That's going to be my Christmas surprise for you. So we thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you have a very wonderful Thanksgiving next week. We hope you'll join us for a quick 10-minute candied pecan and roasted pecan tutorial on next Monday night before you get kicked off with your cooking for Thanksgiving. And from here from everybody at The Buttered Home, we love you all, and we thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.